Obviously, no football games going on, but there's basketball. And this is a big night for the Ball family. LeVar Ball, two of his sons, we know, a few months ago, he made history when he had two sons get drafted in the top 3 of the NBA draft. What an accomplishment and a feat that is. And tonight, Rob, those two sons, Lonzo Ball, point guard for the New Orleans Hornets, drafted second by the Lakers a few years ago, and LaMelo Ball, backup, coming off the bench for the Charlotte Hornets, but he was their big draft, number 3 pick by Michael Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets, and they're playing tonight. Right now, New Orleans, which has the better team, they're getting the best of Charlotte. New Orleans at 4-4 is winning 64-55. Charlotte's 3-5. They're early in the third quarter. But right now, Rob, LaMelo is having the better game statistically. Lonzo's got 5 points, 2 assists, and LaMelo has 7 points, 4 assists.
Nothing to write home about. We're in the third quarter.
Well, and LaMelo's coming off the bench. LaMelo has only played 13 minutes. Lonzo,
what is
of course,
Lonzo
starts.
averaging now, 21. Chris? Do you have it?
Lonzo is averaging 13.5 points, 4.5 assists, which is, I believe, a career low, and 4.5 rebounds.
I was going to say, that's a small number right there. That's nothing.
He's not even leading the team.
With all those playmakers, Chris?
Well, Brandon Ingram is the team leader in assists at 5.5 per game.
Wow.
So the ball's not in Lonzo's hands as much. And, look, Lonzo, if you ask me which one of these two is the better player 4 years from now, I would say LaMelo. I think LaMelo has shown that he could be a star. It's not to the point where he's going to be a star yet. It's not like,
it's more about potential. You're just saying that his upside is bigger than his brother Lonzo, because we've seen Lonzo, Chris, now for what, 4 years? What is this, year 4?
This is his 4th year, I believe. Yep, 4th year.
And I'll tell you, maybe it was Chris because of where he was drafted. Maybe it was because his dad was too loud. Maybe it was because Magic Johnson pumped him up like P.T. Barnum, like it was a circus. Come see the fat lady. Whatever it was, Chris, I think that he suffers from that. Do you know what I mean? Like the buildup.
You mean
he's a nice player.
Perception, right.
But he ain't going to be a star in this league, Chris. He's not.
It doesn't look like it. And first of all, you're right. It's bothersome, disconcerting that he's only averaging 4.5 assists.
That's ridiculous with the players on that team.
We know he's not going to score. So if you're only giving me 4.5 assists, I mean, if Jason Kidd averaged 13 points, he was going to give you 9 assists as well.
I was going to say, he should be getting 9 assists with Zion and Ingram, right? No?
Yep. And he's shooting 32%, almost 33% from 3. And it's a different NBA. And Magic Johnson wasn't a great shooter. Jason Kidd wasn't a great shooter. Obviously, at the end of his career, he became a good three-point shooter, but he couldn't shoot when he entered the league. But guess what? It was different back then. Today's NBA, and I say this about Ben Simmons, it's hard if I got a point guard that can't shoot.
I totally agree. That's why I keep saying, if I'm getting rid of anybody, it's Ben Simmons in this man's NBA. I'm serious. But
Ben is good, but I mean, I'm talking about trying to win championships. It's going to be tough with that. He won't even take them.
But the Lonzo flame out, I don't know. Maybe people see something else, and maybe Chris, a couple more years, he gets a little more aggressive. But if you're not aggressive at this point,
he has gotten more aggressive. I'll give him that. Still. He's shooting it more. He's definitely more aggressive. But even at UCLA, and I liked this about him, he gets rid of the ball fast, which may be one reason his assists aren't as high, although they've been higher in previous years. But, when I was coming up, I mean, you were taught to move the ball. And as a point guard, you get the ball in the outlet. You're looking up court, and if somebody's ahead of you that can do something with it, you kick it up to him. And he does that, which I like, because most point guards want to dribble all the time. But at this level, especially with the high pick and roll that's huge in the NBA today, you do need to be able to handle it and make moves off the dribble, which is not a big strength of his game. Now, LaMelo, on the other hand, does have that, Rob. LaMelo, I had one scout. Now, this is a bit of an overstatement, but one scout, I don't know if I read it or somebody told me. I can't remember. But they said that this guy is as creative as one of the most creative guys with the ball they've seen since Pistol Pete. Now, that's going to sound ridiculous, but LaMelo is flashy, man. He's fun to watch.
Right.
His passes are flamboyant and, and he's shooting better than Lonzo. He's shooting 35% almost from three, which for him is good because that was the knock on him. He couldn't shoot coming into the league.
Yeah. I talked to a NBA, a basketball Hall of Famer, and basically he told me that LaMelo obviously has talent and has something,
right, but
they still got to see more because of his path to the NBA, Chris, his competition that he played against, all the AAU basketball,
absolutely,
which was chuck it from anywhere you want, and no one's going to say anything to you. And now you got to get this guy to learn how to play winning. You talk about it all the time, Chris, winning basketball.
Right.
There's difference between just playing basketball and getting yours and winning basketball. And until they get that kind of figured out with him, Chris, I don't know. We're not sure what we got. That's what.
Right.
That's what
that
I
was
told.
the question. That was one of the big questions. Was that before the draft or recently? You were talking.
This was after. This was right when he started and had the goose egg on the opener. This was right after that. I wanted to call somebody, who I have some belief in, and they know the game and all that.
Because going into the draft, that was one of the big questions about him. Was he hadn't really played a lot of serious basketball.
Right.
In Lithuania or Australia, they were exhibition games essentially. Lithuania was very similar to that.
And the talent level, you know what I mean? It just isn't up there.
He just, and like you said, the AAU, even when he played high school, they were cherry picking left and right.
It was ridiculous. I told you I went to a game in LA, and a playoff game they lost, and him and the second brother, LiAngelo were on the team, Chris, won the team the game that I was watching. And boy, they were just chucking, cherry picking, 3/4 shot. Like take the ball, right, get the ball inbounds, take 2 dribbles, and then chuck up like a 50-foot shot. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. They lost that game because they didn't shoot well.
Rob, that's why I've been a bit surprised at how well he has played. Because he's played look, his numbers are better than Lonzo's already. Lonzo's averaging 13.5 points. LaMelo's averaging 12. LaMelo averages, and he's playing fewer minutes than Lonzo. LaMelo's averaging 5 rebounds to Lonzo's 4.5. LaMelo's averaging 5 assists to Lonzo's 4.5. LaMelo's shooting better from the free throw line. There's the same from the field, 40%, both of them. And then from 3, LaMelo's 34%, Lonzo's 33%. So, and he remember, he's coming off the bench. And I do like that he is coming off the bench. Like, I didn't want Charlotte to just hand him the keys. They got Terry Rozier, who's better than LaMelo at this point.
Right.
They got Devontae Graham, who had a great season last year, 18 points, I think 5 or 6 assists.
But normally when you draft a player that high, though, you're expecting big things. And I get it.
Which I like, and that's why I like that they're making him earn his minutes. They're not just giving, and they're a bad team, to your point. But because of that, you would think they might just throw him out there, starting, play him 35 minutes a night, you know what I mean, and let him just do whatever he wants. And that's not happening, which I think is good for him. Because I think maybe he could learn, as we said, to kind of play some serious basketball.
I'm curious as to what people think, what they've seen so far, how far Lonzo's star has dimmed. Not that he can't be a decent player.
Right, he's a legitimate NBA player, starter.
I'm not saying that, right.
But when you look at
what I mean.
remember who was in that draft? De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox is playing like an all-star.
And De'Aaron Fox, who killed him in college, you remember?
Yep.
Right?
And we've said it. If his dad, LeVar, was a normal dad where you didn't know who he was, he didn't say anything, I think the Lakers would have been more apt to take De'Aaron than Lonzo. Because like you said, De'Aaron had killed him in college.
I thought it was a tournament game. What was it? It was a high profile game.
One time Lonzo didn't play or something. They played twice, I think, in the season. If I'm not mistaken, Lonzo sat out one of the games. But yeah, I mean, De'Aaron looks like the better player for sure at this point. But Lonzo's solid. But like you said, his dad's mouth helped him get drafted second by the Lakers.
And
but
then
it also hurt him in that it put a target on his back from fans, the media, and other players.
And then Magic did worse. He doubled down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Magic.
your jersey's going to be in the rafters next to mine. I mean, Chris, you remember it?
That was just shot. The best point guard ever. You said this dude's going to break your records, So,
right.
yeah. Look, Lonzo, I think, wants to play in peace. He is on a good team. But let's see if they can start winning. But I think he could be a part of, if they build something special in New Orleans, I think he could be a part of it. But, again, it's disconcerting that he's only at 4.5 assists. I'm sorry. That's not a good look. Which ball brother, LaMelo or Lonzo, will have the better NBA career? Your turn to weigh in.
Andre in Massachusetts, you're first up on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andre?
What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Thanks for taking the call. I favor Lonzo over LaMelo based off the fact I feel he's a better defender and a better rebounder. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be immaterial because the clear plan that I'm seeing from the Ball brothers is to play together. I think Lonzo signing with Clutch Sports, opting not to sign his extension, to wait until free agency, I think that he is going to push to try to get paired up with his brother, have them play on the same team, and I think that's when you'll see the best of both Ball brothers.
Andre, look, you my man, but stop it.
Stop.
Lonzo, he ain't got that kind of juice. He ain't LeBron James.
Right.
Really? He better take what he can get.
He better hold on to what he's got, Chris.
Stop it. Demanding where he's going to go. Please. I mean, look, he's a legitimate NBA player and starter. But to think Lonzo is going to be determining him and his brother going to play together, no.
And they're going to force their other brother in the league, Chris, right?
Right,
team
right.
Say,
why don't we just take the whole narrative, right? Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, come on.
And now
with
they don't even need to play together. They're both point guards.
Right. What are they doing?
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Andre, you're better than that, man. Come on.
George in Gainesville, Florida. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got, George?
Hey, guys, man, I am a huge fan of you guys. I'm just here driving around with my official shirt from the Odd Couple. Just want to point that out. Hey,
thank you. Hey, George, we appreciate you. Yes, thank you.
Make sure you guys get yours from GetRob.com.
Yeah, man. My man, George. You know it.
And since we're talking about this, dude, I really believe it's LaMelo Ball is going to have a better career. Book it. That's the same thing I said about Lonzo 3 years ago. I said he's going to one day average a triple-double, and God forbid he proved me wrong.
Well, look, I did think he'd be like Jason Kidd. And I
thought he was going to be a Jason Kidd too, but man, he's kind of a bootleg Jason Kidd right now. Nah, dude, he's like 6'6". I thought he'd be averaging good rebounds and assists. After you told me, Chris, he's averaging 4 assists, I was like, oh man, dude, he's not living up to second round. And his little brother is already right next to him, like averaging pretty much the same. Like, dude, this is his first year, and you're on your fourth year.
He's not playing the same number of minutes. He's not playing
coming off
as many
the
minutes.
bench. It's his first 8 games. I mean, forget about first year. I'm with you, George. We appreciate your support. Thanks for the call. And when people said that he's Jason Kidd, don't forget Jason Kidd, Chris, shared the Rookie of the Year with Grant Hill. Like let's not get crazy.
Yep.
He shared the Rookie of the Year. Grant Hill coming out of college was a star, right?
Yep. Grant Hill was one of those guys. You looked at to take the mantle eventually from Jordan. When Jordan retired,
he was,
and he would have probably
got hurt.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Sean in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
My uncle's from another mother, man. Hey, yo, I love Andre, too, but he needs to make a few more of those little bootleg calls to the other show and get his game right, man, because that was a terrible take. Look, the only thing that Lonzo should be thinking about right now is owning a couple laundromats, because he's looking like the washed king right now,
Wow.
man. Four assists? Are you kidding me? He's setting the bar so low, I think LaMelo's going to pass him up halfway through the year. There's no way you could look at Lonzo Ball as a real NBA player. Like y'all showed my boy De'Aaron Fox, man. He's really doing it out here, man. That game translated from college to the NBA.
Right.
Lonzo still looks like he's taking the ball out of his pocket.
Sean, was that a tournament game? What game did he kill Lonzo, or just a regular season
I think
game?
it was a regular season game, and then
It was
Lonzo
the regular.
didn't play.
Okay.
Yeah, the
right?
tournament game was a hell of a game, though. If y'all remember, they were going back and forth that entire game. Lonzo did show up that game.
Okay.
But, UCLA ended up getting bounced anyway, so it doesnly really matter. Same story every year.
I just got confused on which
Lonzo
game
is
it
a
was.
legitimate NBA player. He'll have a long career, but I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't improve. It's possible that 4 years from now he's coming off the bench. Good player, part rotation player, but he gotta give me more, man.
Yeah,
Score,
that
assist,
definitely.
one or the other.
Thanks, Sean. Hey, Billy in Florida, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Billy?
What's up, fellas? Thanks so much for having me. I hope you're doing well.
Oh,
yes,
everything's
you too.
great, my man.
Awesome. So this is an easy one. I'm going to go with LaMelo here. And when we look at his first season so far through the first 8, and we look at Lonzo's, LaMelo's averaging almost 12, 5, and 5, right? And Lonzo at the time, he averages first season, it was like 10, 7, and 7. But the thing is, we obviously see the fact that LaMelo's not only playing 10 minutes less than Lonzo did in his rookie year and playing much better. Look at the roster. I mean, LaMelo's playing with guys like Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham and P.J. Washington, who, Terry's their best shooter, but Terry's also his own shot creator. And LaMelo's out there making freaking Bismack Biyombo look good in the paint by feeding him passes. And Lonzo Ball can't even get over 4 assists a game playing with Steven Adams and Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. So, I mean, it's clear to show you that LaMelo's making the most of what he's got with the less roster, which means he is the more talented brother and he is the more skilled brother. And I'm just going to have to say LaMelo here.
Good take.
Yeah, and Billy,
and remember,
right.
Rob, LeVar, the dad, has always said that LaMelo's going to be the best one. He would say the youngest going to be the best one.
And
it
I
looks
can
like
see
he's
that
right.
too, because you play against your older brothers, you learn, you're tougher.
Serena
Chris,
was better
right?
than Venus, right?
Right, because that's usually what happens. You're playing up against some really good competition. They push you around. You get a little tougher,
Right.
a little bit.
Right. You can even watch and learn from their mistakes, learn
No
from their
doubt.
successes, the whole 9 yards. And I think, too, a lot of people might look at it like it's tough on the older brother if the young – I think as you grow older, like me and my brother were incredibly competitive. We're only a year apart. But as you get older, even then we pulled for each other. But if we got older and we were both in the pros and he was better, at that point, I would have been pulling for him. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been fine with it for my brother. As long as I'm still in the NBA or whatever, I'd have been cool with it. So I think Lonzo would be fine with it.
Pass you a couple of ducats, some dollars, right? Brother.
Yes.
You would be
that
okay
would be
with
nice.
That's right. All right, Jonathan in Indiana, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. Squeeze in one last call. What you got, Jonathan?
That's actually Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. Okay, I got you.
What's up,
I was
Joseph?
wondering if this was you. All right, go ahead, Joseph.
I heard Indiana. I thought that too.
Yeah, I think Lonzo's going to have the better career because he has Zion Williamson to pass the ball to. It could be like Karl Malone and John Stockton. They're not as good, but like similar to that route.
He got a long way to go to become John Stockton.
I know.
That.
I was going to say.
You're right that he's got Zion. And that's why I thought he'd really have an uptick in assists. Right? I mean, Zion's giving you several assists a game. So, yeah, 4.5, that's a little disappointing. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph.